All right, so we are going to pick up from our central rosette here and construct our version that has octagons surrounding the central rosette in this second video. So if you haven't already gone through the first one, definitely go through that because that's where we're going to pick up. So we just constructed these two sequences. So I want to make sure I'm saving my file as something new. So I'm going to save as, I'm going to call this octagon variation for me too. All right. So we're going to start by reflecting that first original blue line over this second dashed red line, the second angle bisector that we constructed about point Z. So I'm going to click on this blue line first, and then I'm going to click on this dashed red line, and that gives me a blue line that passes through points S and Z. Next, I want to take that blue line I just constructed, and I'm going to reflect it over line segment FE, and I'm going to use my intersect tool to find where that line, that blue line, intersects what would be the diagonal of my square, so line QE. And notice I didn't try to select the intersection at that point. I clicked on first the line and then the line because there's a few other intersections close by. So let's kind of zoom in, make sure everything looks good. I'm going to move my slider. Everything looks okay. All right, so now, because I have these octagons and this square configuration, this star that's going to live inside this circle is symmetric with respect to this line between the two octagons. So to finish this star, all I have to do is reflect vertices S, Z, T, and W over this line. And I want to make sure when I use my Reflect About Line tool that I'm clicking on the line and not the line segment, because under the line segment there's a line and GeoGebra sometimes gets confused when there's things that overlap. So Reflect About Line tool, I'm going to select vertex S, hold down Control, select Z, T, and W, and then I'm going to click on that line, and that gives me the rest of my vertices. I'm going to grab my polygon tool, definitely not regular polygon, just polygon. And I'm going to be careful about the order I click on these vertices. So I'm going to click on A sub 1, S, Z, T, W, R, W prime, T prime sub 1, Z prime sub 1, S prime, and back on A sub 1. This star, I want to create a sequence of rotations about point Q. So this is called poly 4. So in my input bar, I'm going to type sequence rotate poly 4 by pi times I over 2 this time. So I want 90 degrees, not 45, about point Q, where I varies from 0 to 3. And that makes a sequence of 4 stars rotated 90 degrees from each other. All right, so now I want to make another rosette over here, and all I have to do is use my Reflect About Line tool to click on my original ring of rosettes and click on this line through ED. And same thing for this ring of kites. I forgot to do that in the PDF, but there it is. Now I want to take these 3 lists, L3, L2 prime, and L1 prime, and I want to rotate them about 0.0. So I'm going to make sequences of rotations. Oh, and we can hide poly 4. Let's go ahead and do that. Hide poly 4. So I'm going to type first this one. So this is L3. So I'm going to type sequence rotate L3 by pi I over 2 about O, where I varies from 0 to 2. I'm going to type the exact same thing, replacing L3 with L2 prime. So that's just an apostrophe. So sequence, rotate. I recommend copying and pasting all of this. L2 prime by pi I over 2 about O, where I varies from 0 to 3. Oops, what did I do? Oops, I accidentally hit an ampersand instead of an asterisk. There we go. And then the kites, L1 prime, sequence, rotate L1 prime, pi I over 2 about O, where I varies from 0 to 3. Did I accidentally? Oh, I accidentally only did 0 to 2 here. That should be 0 to 3. So notice I went to properties, basic, and I was able to edit the definition to 3. I hit enter, and my missing one shows up. So that's sort of good thing to know there. That one is correct in the PDF. So if you just copied the PDF, you didn't make that mistake. All right, so this is the version with an octagon. So we could continue to expand this if we want by reflecting over, for example, this line through QP. Like I can take this and reflect over here, and then I can do another rotation of L2 prime sub 1, which, wow, that's a really gross name. So we're going to rename this as one that's not taken. So I'm going to rename that as L4, for example. And I'm going to write sequence rotate L4 by pi I over 2 about O, where I varies from 0 to 3, not 2. And you can do that for the kites. You can draw more lines. I could do an angle bisector, a perpendicular bisector here. Do more. I could do a perpendicular bisector through MN. You can kind of just keep expanding this thing and reflecting over those lines as much as you want. And then we move our slider, the angles change. Let's hide those points. So I'm going to right click on points. Well, first, making sure my auxiliary objects are shown. I'm going to right click on point, show object, hide all those things, hide these polygons, hide this segment. Let's hide those conics. And let's hide these lines. And now if I right click on my slider, I can turn my animation on and just watch it do its thing. So that's pretty cool. Okay, see the next video for, oh, you may notice these are darker. So what are the ones that L1 prime, L2 prime, L3, maybe that was it. What was this guy? L4. All the lists that were overlapping, we can hide. All right. See you in the next video.